Hey folks, and welcome to a Zento Sales Snippet. This is the first in our series of the Club Success or the Sales Success series, and we're interviewing owners and managers. I'd like to welcome Kerrie and Ben from Shapes Health Club in WA. You'll see in the stats before the video started with a bit of information about Shapes and where they've come from. And today is my chance to pick their brains and give them an idea of why they've been so successful and get an understanding, and hopefully some of the ideas we'll discuss today you'll be able to take away and use in your businesses. So guys, I guess the first question, as you know, we work in sort of three areas. It's the system, it's the skills, and it's the staff. They're the kind of three areas to make sales success. What's kind of been your take on that, your success in that area?
I think from a sales perspective, the first key is obviously staff, getting staff right. And as an owner, I recognise that I don't have the skills in sales that I need to run this business properly.
Yep.
So I suppose key is recruitment of the person that is going to be able to do that, and obviously that's where Kerrie comes in, being so important to running our sales machine,
yep.
But also our marketing machine as well. So Kerrie is really behind the systems and the skills that are associated there.
And from my understanding, Kerrie, you are a systems guru.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about the systems here and how they've been successful.
I guess just having a strict sales process. I mean, each membership consultant have their own style, but as long as they've got a process to follow through, makes it easy and smooth for them to continue making sales and measuring everything. So as from the marketing side of it, making sure we know what works and what doesn't work, and learning by mistakes as well.
And the skills, guys, the final point, obviously, you've got a very robust system. I've spent a bit of time with you guys here, and your systems are brilliant. You are very, very focused on getting the right people. You surround yourself with the people who are part of the team. The skills itself, have you had challenges of getting the right people with the right skills to follow what you want?
Yeah.
I suppose over the 5 years that we've been involved in Shapes, we've had to do a lot of use cleaning out. It's probably a harsh word, but it's true, cleaning out of staff that really don't match the vision and the future of the business. But what we do when we get the right staff person is we don't hesitate to spend money on training and supporting those people.
Yep.
And you can never overtrain somebody. I've learned that from my background as an accountant. And for somebody to advance and grow in your business, because we're in a people business, it's only as strong as the people. Yep. So the more quality your people are, the more quality your business is going to be. And I think that's what Kerrie does well, in consistently training our sales staff over and over, and then looking for external support, such as Zento, to help us give them something extra.
Excellent. So guys, if I was to say, what's your USP, what's your unique selling proposition when it comes to the difference between this club and this centre and the other centres in your area? What's your point of difference?
I think we're very community-based and definitely try to focus on the personalised service. So, we recently moved to the new premises, and our membership growth was enormous, and we've just really focused on trying to keep the whole name basis and matching the individual needs to what they actually need, not what we want to sell them. So.
And do you get that feedback from your members that you are different?
Definitely, and I mean our biggest source is our referrals, so that says it in itself.
I think it's something we don't stop thinking about as well. Our monthly focus this month is customer service, and so we're drumming it into our staff constantly to make sure that we keep that customer service level up. Because as soon as you start resting on your laurels, that's when things start dropping. And I suppose keeping it a focus is something that we actively listen to the feedback we get from our members and act on it. We don't just hear it, we don't just look at it and read it. We actually do something about it, and that's a key part of how we run our business as well.
Excellent. In the time you guys have spent in the industry, what do you think in the sales customer service side has been some of the biggest change you've seen since the 80s when gyms and fitness centres were very different? What's the difference now?
I think we're much more flexible. We have to meet what the member wants. It's not just a stock standard membership and you pay your money and you get this. It's very individualised. So we can customise it to exactly what they want and how long they want. And it's very flexible. We match the services that the community want as well.
Excellent.
Short term, right through to long term.
What about Ben from your perspective?
Not having been around in the industry in the 80s, but from what I hear, I suppose all this life memberships have never really gone out of the way, and people want something that's bite-sized. I think what happened in the 80s was that so many people were burnt by the fitness industry, and it developed such a bad bad name and bad recognition amongst people, and I think what we're doing now is really starting to see a change in the way people perceive the fitness industry, that it's positive in their life, and also looking for something that's more bite-sized. Yep. So we do a lot of 6-week and 12-week programs just to get people started and get them thinking about fitness, and then they're obviously thinking more about longer-term memberships.
All right, question for you. If I was opening a fitness centre tomorrow and you were taking me aside and saying, make sure when you're setting up the sales, customer service stuff, you do this, what would be sort of your #1 takeaway tip?
I think consistency.
Okay.
Well, firstly, obviously know your numbers, but make sure everything you're doing matches the product you're doing. So make sure your branding and your marketing is matching your sales system and the people that you've got selling your product. That's matching your product, always under promise and over deliver. But more importantly, continuously checking those numbers and making sure you know where you're at and working out what you need to improve and tweak.
I guess know the community and your market, and obviously marketing. You know, you have to spend the marketing dollar to get that return, and you have to measure the response to each piece. I think that's definitely critical.
And you guys what you do very well is you measure everything, and you do respond to those numbers. You don't just sort of look at how the business is going from an outside perspective. So very good with the numbers.
I think that's something as well we learned from external advisors as well.
Speaking of external providers
coming in, came in and this particular person wasn't Zento, unfortunately, but came through and really, I suppose, broke things down for us and really walked us through that whole process. And once you have a system that works, you stick with it. We know the system inside out and it produces the results.
I think as an industry we have been reluctant to bring in external people. From the days when I had fitness centres, you sort of try and do it by yourself. I think a lot more owner-operators are now saying, hey, we've got to bring in expertise in certain areas to have that fresh look.
I think the motivation as well. I mean, I have a training hour every week with the 2 membership consultants, but I know when you come in, even, it motivates me, and it's a fresh look, but they just hear me go on and on and on, and it's like, I mean, they respond, but they respond for a day, and it flattens out, whereas when we have a session with you, we implement new strategies, and they take ownership because they're so involved in that process. So definitely external training.
So one thing I think we're doing really well now as an industry as well is looking to other industries and bringing key parts back in. And I think one of the things that's really changed our business is moving from a small business mentality to a big business mentality, even though we've still got the small business touch. And what I mean by that is not putting a cheap sign up on the wall that says, members, can you please put away your things. It's actually making it a professional sign, and just everything they touch in their whole experience suggests that this is bigger than a small business in their local community, and it actually shows professionalism.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one thing that the industry is bringing from other businesses, but I think there's so many other things out there, and it's got a long way to go in the industry.
Guys, thanks for your time today. Hopefully you've grabbed some tips. I'm sure Kerrie and Ben are both available. I'll give you the email addresses if you would like some information. One thing to know is the guys have been very open in helping the industry. Ben's actively involved with Fitness Australia. So not just running a business, but also giving back to the industry. I think that's a very important part of your success. Making sure the centre is always at the cutting edge. So thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.